Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar Acumatica Overview. I am Michaela Terenzio, Customer Marketing Manager here at Acumatica, and I will be your moderator today. And on today's call to discuss our topic, first we have Danielle Kerner, Partner Account Manager for Acumatica, and Jessica Gadbois, Partner Enablement Manager for Acumatica. And a little bit of our agenda for today. First, we will start with an overview of Acumatica from Danielle. Then we will go into the product demo from Jessica. And then I will come back at the end of the call for a quick Q&A session. And before we get started, I have just a couple of housekeeping announcements. First, if you have any questions about the content of the session, please enter them into the Q&A chat anytime throughout the webinar, and then we will get to as many of those as possible at the end of the call. If we're not able to answer your question live on the webinar due to time, we will follow up with you one-on-one after the meeting and make sure that you get your question answered. And finally, this meeting is going to be recorded. You will all receive a recording, and it will also be available on acumatica.com on our webinars page. And now I am excited to begin the presentation and hand it over to Danielle.
Great, thank you, Michaela. Good morning, good afternoon, and it looks to be good evening in some cases. Thanks everybody for joining us today. I'm thrilled to be here, and we've got a great group. So I'll spend a few minutes going over a brief introduction of Acumatica before I turn things over to Jessica and we dive into the product a little bit, which I know is what everybody is most interested in. But the introduction I want to provide is a little bit about the company, our product, and most importantly, what makes us different. Why so many companies are choosing Acumatica as their software partner, because that's really how we see it, is a partnership. We're invested in the success of each and every one of our customers. So at the heart of what Acumatica does for our customers is we drive digital transformation. What is digital transformation? What does it really mean, or is it just kind of a buzz phrase? And I can tell you that digital transformation is real, and we see it all the time firsthand. Taking your business from multiple disparate, unconnected systems to a business where all of your data is synced, all your information is aligned and available in real time really is transformative. Knowledge is no longer existing in silos. Data and reports are available across every part of your business. They're available anytime, anywhere, and on any device, and that is transformative. Digital transformation enables you to make better, smarter, faster business decisions based on accurate, real-time data that drives your business forward. But technology is only one part of the digital transformation equation. We'll move to the next slide. So as with any technology, it's only as good as the people who are using it. You can't move your old analog business practices to the cloud and expect everything to be improved or transformed. You really do need to make an investment in your processes and improving those processes and your people. And this is an opportunity to do that. Make changes, make enhancements, leverage, for example, the workflow that's inside of Acumatica. Take what is today a manual process and automate it so that you're creating efficiencies and you're advancing both your business and your people forward. And lastly, it's also critical that in this digital world that we all live and work in, that we look beyond our own selves and our own company and engage with a larger community. Acumatica has a thriving community of users and customers, many of whom just joined us out for our annual summit in Las Vegas. We had thousands of attendees, but many of whom were customers. They came to meet one another, they came to share best practices, they came to learn, they came to teach. It really was an incredible experience, I think, for everybody that was there, and the best example of a thriving digital community. So next year, as those of you who join the Acumatica family choose to join us. That would be terrific. So the best path for transforming your business to truly thrive in our digital economy is Acumatica. We are dedicated to providing our customers with the absolute best tool set, the most comprehensive support, and robust community to get you there. Acumatica is a global company, as you can see. On this map, we have offices around the world with our global headquarters in Seattle, Washington. We also have offices near Washington, D.C. and Virginia, which is close to where I'm located. We have offices in Ohio, Oregon, Mexico, Canada, Asia, Russia, and South Africa. And while this footprint is impressive and extensive, I think what goes on in each one of these offices is also important. There is some element of customer service and support, as well as product development in most of these offices. And I think that really is an important indicator of what is important to Acumatica. We're very invested in our customer experience and improving that customer experience and supporting our customer success, as well as product improvement. So this is a fun slide showcasing the customers that have joined our ecosystem in 2019 alone. And it's been tremendous growth year over year and for many years now. Acumatica is the fastest growing cloud ERP. To accomplish this, you can imagine that we have to hit on a number of different points. Great product that's constantly improving. Acumatica is born in the cloud, which is an important distinction as older legacy applications kind of try to shoehorn themselves into the cloud, not quite the same. Great customer service and great support, both here at Acumatica and through our growing network of partners around the world. So today, we are more than 5,200 customers strong. As you can imagine, this number is constantly increasing. And here we're showing our progress as measured by NPS. For those of you who are familiar with this measurement tool, it's Net Promoter Score. We've been doing it since 2017. So a huge initiative on the part of the entire company. Everybody's involved in this on some level or other. And we like to see this, the results of these, the surveys that produce these scores, and we like to see the scores themselves, of course. So we're always invested in seeing this improve, always looking for ways to, as I mentioned already, improve the customer experience and make that better. We know that to continue on our growth path, our customers have to continue on their growth path. And this is just one indication of our investment in that growth path for each and every one of our customers. A customer bill of rights. I always have to chuckle at this a little bit because it's so unique. Acumatica is the only ERP software company that publishes a customer bill of rights. How fundamental, yet how necessary this is. As inherently true, as an example, number 7 is. You own your own data and you have access to your own data. It seems so obvious, but it is not a right that is granted by other ERP software providers, cloud ERP software providers. In the case of Acumatica, of course, as stated here, you have access to your data and you own your data. So I think it's super unique and another testament to our customer-centric kind of culture. Choosing an ERP software vendor is not difficult. There's lots to choose from, but partnering with one that empowers you, that helps you transform your business, and that is invested in your success, the options become less. And if you believe that what you see here is important, then we believe Acumatica is the very best choice for you. But you don't have to just take our word for it. We have some awards and industry analysts who have also said great things about Acumatica, consistently among the highest ranked in customer satisfaction and usability. the G2 Crowd, Nucleus, and Gartner all have evaluated and analyzed our application and ranked us among the highest. We've also received awards, as noted there at the top, for Best Cloud ERP, Best ERP Software, and then some industry-specific, Best Manufacturing ERP. So that's, we're in a lot of competition with each one of those categories. Acumatica's core products consist of financial management, project management, inventory management, and customer management, or CRM. But in addition to these broader business solutions, we also have industry-specific solutions, including, next slide, thanks, Field Service Edition, Commerce Edition, construction, distribution, and manufacturing, as I've already mentioned. So what's important here is, and I've seen this with a number of customers where they start in a sort of broader ERP software solution, that's what meets their needs today, but their business evolves and they require some field service features that are in the Field Service Edition. They might also need commerce. So as you grow and as you evolve, there's a number of different solutions. So you determine what is your best path forward. Where do you start today? And wherever you end up tomorrow, we have the resources and the features and the application to support you in that. Access from anywhere and any device, anytime, is very powerful in Acumatica, and we are very mobile focused. Always with an eye towards how is somebody going to want to access this data? Will they be in the warehouse? Will they be on the floor? Do they need point of sale functionality? Are they going to want to get this analysis on their phone or maybe even their smartwatch? So everything is developed with the idea that, yes, to answer those questions, somebody's going to want to access this on their smartwatch or on their tablet or their phone. So everything is designed to better fit those modern devices. So you're not accessing the application per se on your phone. You're using an app to access your Acumatica application. So it sizes itself for that particular screen size. Acumatica offers modern, growth-friendly licensing on what we say is pay-as-you-go, but I think it's pay-as-you-grow type of licensing model. So there's no per-seat premium. What we found with our customers, and I know this to be true, is that a per-seat approach was limiting in terms of growth. You might have a partial or temporary employee or somebody external, and it was difficult to justify purchasing a seat or a user license for that individual. So Acumatica has addressed that and really removed the barriers to growth as it relates to the pricing model. So every authorized person can access the application. Every person within your organization, be they part-time or full-time, internal, external, or even vendors, partners, customers, through our portal technology. We believe that a connected business on every level with everyone that you do business with is a better promoter of growth. So we've modernized our pricing to support that. Also interesting about Acumatica and unique in our space, we are a cloud ERP software provider, but we recognize that not everybody can or would like to be in the cloud. So we offer a robust set of services around our cloud offering. We use the Amazon Web Services infrastructure to provide that. And for most of our customers, that's a great fit. But for some it isn't, because there could be limitations within your industry. There could be regulations that restrict you from being in a public cloud environment. And a private cloud environment is more appropriate, or even on-premise. So lots of flexibility for a cloud ERP software provider, because we do recognize that not all businesses are alike. Acumatica is an open, has an open architecture, open APIs for ease of integration. This slide shows just a small sampling of our total universe of third-party applications that are integrated with Acumatica. So as you need an integration with an e-commerce solution such as BigCommerce or Magento, we have others as well, maybe a tax services such as Avalara. HubSpot is a popular one, as well as Tableau from a BI. So we just want to create the opportunity for you to have a comprehensive solution, enabling our larger ecosystem of supporting types of applications to integrate with Acumatica does that. So you choose what's best for your business. You choose which, if native in the application is sufficient, great, but if you want something a little bit more powerful or something that is a little bit more complete, we have that solution in our marketplace. Business intelligence, analytics, there is a robust set of tools, reports, features, dashboards inside of Acumatica. And for the majority, the large majority of our customers, it is more than they could really even want. But there are some, however, that require even more robust feature set and deep analysis of their data. So as displayed here, we offer an integration, as I had already mentioned, with some BI tools so that you can have that. Again, trying to establish a platform so that there's lots of different solutions and you choose what's right for you and your business in terms of what path you want to go down. Okay, so I'll wrap it up with Acumatica is flexible, it's adaptable, with a customer-first culture, powerful technology that sets us apart. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate it and look forward to the opportunity to earn your business. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Jessica Gadbois, who will show us some of the exciting features inside the application.
Thank you so much, Danielle, and hi, everybody. Well, welcome. I am going to get my screen up and running here. So let me go ahead and make sure you are now seeing my instance of Acumatica. And I'm going to give you an introduction to Acumatica today. Of course, we have a variety of people in our audience with us, so I won't necessarily be focusing on just manufacturing or just construction, for example, but I'm going to give you an overview of Acumatica from a navigation and usability standpoint. And then what we can do is, if you're interested in diving deeper into one of those specific areas, we can set up a secondary demonstration. So without further ado, if you made it into this webinar today, then congratulations, you can use Acumatica as well. We are a fully browser-based system. So as you can see, I'm just logged in specifically using my Edge browser today, but we are browser agnostic and device agnostic. So whatever you are comfortable with as far as a device, whether that be a laptop, a PC, a tablet, or a smartphone, you're welcome to use that to access Acumatica. ERP, I know Danielle gave us a really nice overview there, but I think that's an outdated term. I really like to think of ERP as business management software or business process software. So we will become the tool that acts as a single source of truth for your business from the front office to the back office. Notice over on the left-hand side, I have access, of course, to many different areas of the system today. Your users inside of Acumatica will only have access to the different areas that they need to do their job. So maybe those folks from the sales team should not be accessing the finance workspace with our financial statements and things along those lines. So fully security and permission-based. Now, these workspaces, like I mentioned, are grouping together business process areas. So if I look inside of my payables workspace, I am seeing everything related to accounts payable. If I needed to enter a new bill or run some type of AP report, all of that information can be found within that AP workspace. These workspaces are completely modifiable. So if you would like to create a workspace called Jessica's Workspace and put all of the menu items that I use on a day-to-day basis, very easy to do that inside of Acumatica. We really pride ourselves on user friendliness and this concept of no code functionality to be able to make changes. So if I wanted to edit my menu structure, create a new workspace, add a menu item to this existing workspace, I simply have to check a box, and now I can see that those pieces of information get added directly to the workspace, but more so directly to my interface. This is allowing me to make this a very personal experience without needing to call somebody or pay somebody to make a change. We are completely able to support multiple companies and multiple branches. So my environment happens to have a few different companies and branches set up. So we can fully do consolidation. We can fully do currency translations inside of Acumatica. We do also give you the ability to utilize Acumatica as a favorites, or I should say we give you the tools to create a favorite space. So if I am somebody that is only using sales orders and shipments on a day-to-day basis, I can go ahead and add a star icon there, and I will see those sales orders and shipments are now available in my favorites. You have probably noticed by now that at the central focus of this screen is my dashboard. So if I look here, I'm seeing a customer view, and I think this is an interesting example of an Acumatica dashboard. I can drop off those workspaces if I'm done using them, just as a side note. The customer view is interesting because, yes, of course, we could have a warehouse dashboard or a payables dashboard, but this is an example of how we can take data from all across the system. I'm seeing sales information here, AR information here, and also even support information. And I can drill down on that data. So yes, I see my 2 orders to ship. I can drill right into that information, take a look at those orders, and I can begin the fulfillment process directly from here if I would like to. I can always have a home dashboard. So as I select my Acumatica icon in the top left, it takes me back to my home screen. Now I mentioned this is a customer view dashboard. I'm seeing all of my customers' data. I could even filter this down, maybe just show me all of the data that pertains to this specific customer. And as I filter now, I'm going to see my dashboard refresh. Out of those 2 orders, none of them belong to this specific customer. So now I'm getting an entirely different view of the business, but great from a customer service standpoint to understand how this customer's relationship is with us before we maybe get them on the phone. Maybe let's take a look at one more example of a dashboard just so we can differentiate here. This one would be maybe somebody in the warehouse. How are we doing for shipping? Are there any purchase orders that we haven't received that were due to come in? And maybe just one more, how about from a finance perspective, an AP clerk? What are we interested in over on that side? Who are our overdue accounts, or what account should I say that we are overdue on? What type of bills do we have out there that need to be paid? And these dashboards, again, low code, no code. We want you to be able to make changes to them without needing to call us or call your partner to do so. So very quickly, if I go up to design, I can move this information around on my dashboard. I could add something new. So we certainly do support charts like you're seeing on the right. These would be key performance indicators. We can do pivot tables. We can even do embedded pages. So if you'd like to have, I know we have construction customers that actually embed live footage from their construction sites directly into their dashboards. So the possibilities are really endless here when it comes to business intelligence inside of Acumatica. Now, behind these dashboards, these are actually all driven by what we call generic inquiries. So for those of you that are familiar with SQL queries, they're very similar to SQL queries. It allows us to take really any data or tables inside of Acumatica and push out a search of information. So in this example, we're seeing a vendor summary is the generic inquiry. Now, this is a big differentiator for Acumatica. Of course, we do have our own report designers for things like financial statements. But the generic inquiries are worth mentioning because they allow us to get these types of analytics without needing to build a custom report in a report designer. When I look here, I have all of my vendors at once, but I can now do things like very quickly filter down on this information. So maybe if I just want to see all of my past due accounts out there that are greater than, I don't know, $10,000, in just a few seconds now, I've modified this screen to show me that information. I can save this filter and reuse it. So if I look across the top, those are actually just saved filters like the one I've just created. And even more so, the columns, and let me zoom in a little bit for those of you that are having a hard time seeing it like I am. The columns on this screen is another thing that Acumatica is very easily able to change, and that's universal throughout the system. Not just on what we call an inquiry screen like I'm seeing here, but even on a data entry form. So maybe on a sales order or a purchase order, this holds true there as well. So for example, maybe that past due is what is most important to us, that actual amount. I can grab that column and I can just drag it right to the front of my screen here. And like I mentioned, those are things I can do on a sales order, a purchase order, really any form within Acumatica. No need to call a developer to make common screen changes or even add entire fields here. Beyond that, I will just mention the fact that we do have the ability to add different types of highlighting to these dashboards and inquiries. So you'll see that I used some color coding out on my dashboard to give us, you know, maybe if we have any more than 2 late orders, we'd like to see it in bright red. So we can use that type of color coding. If I go into my dashboard, that's where we would set up that information here, normal versus alarm colors. But I can also do this directly inside of my queries. So let me just drill down here into my open sales opportunities. And if you look at this example, you'll notice I have any sales opportunities that have been won are appearing in bright green. Anything that doesn't have an owner is appearing in yellow. And anything that is past a certain point in time, we've considered late. So we would like that to appear in red. So just another example of those analytics that we can get from Acumatica very quickly and easily to allow us to make decisions about our business without needing to run extensive reports and create a lot of custom forms to get this information. We are very well known for usability in the industry. We have a lot of awards and accolades for usability in the industry, and I think I've given you a few good examples as to why. Now, finally, I will mention that, like I said, I can't really get into the specifics on, say, a manufacturing or construction demo today, but if you note the workspaces that I have shown you throughout the course of the demo, those editions, so manufacturing edition, field service edition, are all completely native to Acumatica. So if you are using, for example, manufacturing edition, you will see additional workspaces, bill of materials, for example, material requirements planning, or an MRP workspace. As you add on those pieces of Acumatica, it's more like a puzzle. So you simply decide what pieces you would like to add on top of the core pieces that Danielle mentioned earlier. So core being financials. Everybody in Acumatica starts with financials and accounting. Then we also have the customer management, we have the inventory management, and you essentially just decide which pieces of Acumatica you want to turn on is how the system works. Now, this takes me about to the end of the allotted time we have together for a demo. I would be happy to take anybody through a secondary, deeper dive into specific areas of the system. So we'll let you follow up with Michaela if you'd like to do that. But I will also just check if we have any questions that have come in that we have a moment to answer together here, Michaela.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thanks, Jessica, for this great demo. And now jumping in, we do have a couple of questions. So first question for Jessica, when we're talking about the mobile app, we've actually got a couple about mobile, so I'll ask these together. Is the mobile app included with all versions of Acumatica? And then the second question in regards to the app, is the mobile app updated in real time or is there any delay?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I started by mentioning that we have mobile access, right, from a smartphone, from a tablet. So you could just access from our browser, but we do certainly have a full app available in the Apple Store and in the Android Store as well. It is included with every version of Acumatica, so there's no additional charge, and it is all real time as well. I have just a second to actually, I won't go back into showing. I got excited. I wanted to demo a feature, but in the essence of time, I won't do it. But really, if you would like to expose anything to mobile, like a dashboard or an inquiry, it just takes one click inside of the Acumatica app. So very user-friendly as well. And again, if you need a secondary demonstration, anybody on the line, I'd be happy to follow up with that on a second meeting.
Fantastic. Next question. Are changes that are made in Acumatica then reflected in, say, BigCommerce if you have an e-commerce site?
Yeah, so that's a good point too. We have our commerce edition of Acumatica. It's not one that I talked about too much, but it came up briefly in the slides there. So the commerce edition is powered through BigCommerce. We do also have access through Shopify, Magento, a couple of other very common shopping carts. But yes, those are going to be real-time updates as well. So if you are, for example, making an item change inside of Acumatica, you can reflect that onto your website without needing to make duplicate changes in multiple systems. So that definitely is a yes to that question.
Fantastic. And we're just about out of time. So last question, just a reminder, if we didn't get to your question live on the call, we will follow up with you one-on-one and we will get your questions answered. So the last question is, how can I see a more detailed demo of Acumatica?
Yeah, perfect. So why don't we, Michaela, if you'd like to just make sure we have the list up of the questions coming in. Anybody that needs a secondary demo, if you just drop that in the Q&A here, then we can have record of anybody with your email addresses so we can follow up on that and we can make sure we do something more custom for your business, learn a little bit more about what type of processes you're running, and then we can do something more tailored to your organization. So anybody that would like a secondary demo, please feel free to drop that into the Q&A on the line here today.
All right, great, thank you. And as we're just out of time or a little bit beyond our time here, I'm going to close out, and again, we'll follow up with you one-on-one to give you more of a custom demo or if you have any questions. But on behalf of our guests, Danielle Kerner and Jessica Gadbois and Michaela Terenzio, thank you so much for your time, participation, and interest today, and I hope that everyone has a great day. Thanks and goodbye.